Tingles with flyby. Daily ASMR videos. Hello and welcome to the Jungle Collective. We're so glad that you've decided to join us today. How did you find out about us? Okay, through our Facebook event. Oh, that's great to hear. Well, you've come to a lovely event that we have today. As you know, we run these little plant buying events all throughout Australia, and we are also expanding very soon into the US as well. Yeah, now we booked our first show into New York. Yeah, we have a philosophy, I guess, that plant buying should be fun, interesting, and that you deserve to have just amazing plants before you at affordable prices. There's just a selection here in front of you. Yeah, no, so we just started this year, so we're quite recent. And we run these days on the weekend. This is our second one that we've held here. Yeah. So we held it on a Saturday and a Sunday. And then your tickets allow you to come in for 2 hours. And there's actually a little bit different selection of plants that are available on the Saturday than the Sunday. Just so you're aware of that. Yeah. And we always have a super duper special as well. So we have these little mini plants, which I'll show you in a little bit more detail. But these are $5, and we have a whole selection of them. And so you can get as many of those as you want for $5, because they are super duper special for this event. Now we also have, I can see that you aren't dressed all in green, but we did have a little promotion, so you might see some people around dressed all in green. And anybody dressed all in green gets a discount on their order. Just something fun. Last time it was if you were wearing a onesie. So we like to make the whole process a bit of fun. Yeah. Well, why don't I get into these plants? We'll look at them each in a bit more detail. I can give you, care instructions to see if they match with your lifestyle and your home and everything like that. Okay? Okay, well, why don't we start with this, just one of these little succulents. So here we have this lovely little succulent. This is the Crassula bluebird variety. You can see it's quite compact compared to my hand. It's very small, but it's a very cute little plant. It's got this gorgeous little shaped leaves, but they are quite stout, which is normal for succulent leaves. You can see the arrangement they come off from the stem in. And one of the things I love about this is just this little red edge. I don't really know why it gets that edge, but very beautiful. It is typical for succulents to get this waxy kind of whitish color on the surface of their leaves. Sometimes through the release of salts onto the surface, because they can be grown in arid environments, and so that can be a way to deal with excess salt in the soils. Succulents are very, very friendly to grow. They are hard to kill. The biggest thing with them is not to do too much with them, basically. So you don't want to overwater, and you don't want to over-fertilize. They really are used to not getting very much, and so they are great at holding on to what they get, but are not good at dealing with a lot of excess. So, if we look on the back here, we can look at the Crassula ovata cultivar, the bluebird. Obviously compact, forming a small upright shrub, as we can see. You can get multiple 6-centimeter heads. You do want it to be in well-drained soil. So if you take this home, you can plant it either outdoors in full sun, or I think you can even have a little bit of shade. It needs a fair bit of sun though. Inside you want to put it somewhere where it's going to get a lot of sun. So a windowsill or something like that. And it'll brighten up your beautiful little windowsill. It is will tolerate light frost, so you can keep it in the outdoors if you do get light frost, if you have a very cold, so if you're up in the hillier areas where it gets colder, then that may be a bit excessive. And you can get little small clusters of white flowers that will appear from the heads in winters. So you can control the shape of your succulent by cutting back the stems and leaves. You can treat it as kind of a quasi-bonsai. And it's just a beautiful little plant. I think it's an absolute steal at $5 and can really brighten up your life. There are lots of benefits to having plants around us. They help to elevate and regulate our mood. They do filter the air around us. So particularly indoors where we are exposed to lots of toxic paints and that sort of things that are off-gassing, having plants that filter the air is invaluable. And will increase the oxygen content in your home. We all could use a little more oxygen, couldn't we? So, $5, that's one of our super duper specials. Now you will notice if you go over into the next room, a whole table laid out with all sorts of varieties of these, and they're all $5. And they're not all just succulents. We have some little palms, but they're all kind of this mini size, so really little. Yeah, so something definitely to consider. I would definitely check out the table and pick up as many as interest you, because it's just a really great deal. And if you do need kind of easy to grow, then succulents are a good way to go. So speaking of succulents, let's get into the next plant that I wanted to show you. So the next succulent I want to show to you is this beautiful Graptoveria. This is the fanfare cultivar. You can see it forms these beautiful rosettes. This is a hybrid between Echeveria and Graptopetalum. So you have these tight heads that range between 5 and 10 centimeters across, and these will rapidly form a little small clump of plants for you as well. These do need a little bit of protection in very harsh summer conditions. So if you're putting them outdoors, just need to keep that in mind. And they also do prefer better soil types, and they need good drainage. Now the sun requirements, they do require full sun or shade. They're beautiful in gardens, borders, rockeries, or in pots. Indoors, they do need to be in a very sunny position, or else they'll lose their amazing shape and color. So, if you think about it, just obviously sun is what powers the plants, and so it is important for them to have that sunlight. They, for watering, can be watered all year round. They'll grow faster in warmer months, and they can survive without water for short periods of time. So a little bit fussier than the bluebird, but makes up for it in just how spectacular it looks. Just really, really fun. Very gorgeous. Now again, as it is a succulent, for fertilization you don't want to use 100% fertilizer on it. You definitely want to go with a 25%. And that's just during the growing period. So during the summer, since they really like to grow in summer. The less fertilizer you use, the better shaped the plant will be. So you get that really nice characteristic shape if you don't over fertilize. And if you have over abundant nitrogen in the fertilizer, then you'll just something to be aware of. Now, as far as potting goes, these can actually be left to kind of grow outside of their pots. They don't need to just stay inside the pot. But if it is during the warmer months, then you can repot them as well if you are keeping them in a pot. So, the Graptoveria, very, very beautiful. The fanfare. This one is $10. You can see the size, a bit larger. It's a 10 centimeter. Very beautiful. It's $10. And look at that shape. Just stunning. Well, I have one more succulent to show you. It's also another Graptoveria, but a different cultivar. So this is the other Graptoveria cultivar that I wanted to show you. This is Graptoveria Opalina, and you can see it has quite robust leaves. They're very thick individually, and this has beautiful, beautiful color. You have kind of a red tinge to a light green. It's absolutely gorgeous coloring. And again, it has that characteristic Graptoveria rosette shape, which is just so beautiful. And because it is low growing, you do tend to see it from the top more than anywhere else. And this one actually must have broken off a little bit, but you can actually see how the inside looks. It's bright green. If you touch it, it's very wet. Succulents hold a lot of water in their leaves because they do not rely on a constant supply of water. They need to hold a lot of water in their own tissues, and so they get these very stout leaves where they hold lots of water. It's also why you see a lot of succulents with spines, which is to discourage animals from eating through their water stores. But this little Graptoveria doesn't have any spines. It's smooth and beautiful. The care for this Graptoveria is very similar to the other one. Can be put outdoors, can be put indoors where it would need full sun. They just need a lot of sun to be able to meet their requirements. And you want to do a light amount of fertilization. And kind of the less fertilization, the better the color and shape that you get. So, this one is a little bit bigger. You can see in size. A bit larger. So this one is $15. And again, this one can kind of grow over its pot, or you can repot it and it can grow into the pot. It's better to repot it in summer so that it has all of that, basically because during summer they get lots of more energy because there's more sunlight. So they have more sugars coming in. So they can basically combat the problems that they may have from transplanting. So it's best to wait till summer. And yeah, these will do really well in a window and bring a lot of joy into your room. But we have lots of different plant options that are in this shape or size. So now let's move into our little bit larger plant options. We have a whole host up to, different trees and everything like that. But I just have a couple that I want to point out to you. We'll start with the Bromeliad. Here we have one of our Bromeliads. This is a Crassula variety. There are lots of cultivars from the Crassula genus, and this is just one of them. But you can see it's very beautiful. It's a gorgeous red inflorescence up here. Now, bromeliads are a really fascinating type of plant. They don't have very extensive root systems because they don't actually use their roots to get water or anything like that. They are a rainforest plant that comes from high up in the canopy, and they're epiphytic, meaning that they grow on trees and that sort of thing. So their roots basically serve as an attachment point to hold them in place where they are in the canopy. So you might be wondering then, how do they get their water? Well, you can kind of see if you look in there. If you look down in, you can kind of see it has this cupping area inside. So right down through here, it has a shape that is designed to collect and hold water. Now, this makes it very convenient for those of us who are growing them at home to know when they need water, because then their cups will be lacking in water. So they are a really great plant for people who need a bit of a visual cue to know what they should do with their plants. They are very sensitive to hard water because they do carry their water in, like, basically directly next to their tissues rather than filtering through soil and roots. Any sort of salts or solutes, anything that would be in the water, can be kind of magnified. So it's recommended, if you do have hard water for your tap water, to use filtered or distilled water to water them. But you want to make sure it's not too cold. So if you water in the fridge or something like that. If you're using it to water your plants, you just want to make sure it's at room temperature. So the fun thing about bromeliads is that they do have, they're actually relatively short life cycle. So this one won't have too much longer now that it's starting to infloresce. But we will start to see some little pups grow off of there. So the little pups are kind of propagations. So once they're large enough, you just need a sterile knife. You cut off the pups and put them in a little bit of soil, and they will start to grow on their own. So it's a very nice perpetual type of plant that you can get. And you can see it just has nice sturdy leaves. It's a very nice size. It's larger, but not too large. And it has this gorgeous red coloring, which is very eye-catching. So it looks lovely. This does a bit better in some lower light conditions. It doesn't need full sun like all the succulents we've been looking at. And so it's a little bit friendlier in that way. And as I said, the watering is very convenient because it will give you that visual indication when it needs more water, because you won't be able to see the water in there. Which I think this one actually needs water pretty soon. The only other care for the bromeliad, the Braceo, is you do want to flush it out about once every 2 months. So that just means basically inverting the plant so that all the water drains out and replenishing it with new water. And that'll help prevent any bacteria or anything like that from taking hold. Yeah. And you just want to be really careful that you don't overwater it. It's very susceptible to root rot. So just use the little cup areas as your indication and you should be fine. But just it's okay if a little bit of water spills into the soil when you are watering, but you don't really need too much water to go into the soil. Most can just stay in the cup area. Yeah, so it's a really nice little plant. Now let's move on to our final plant. So here's our final plant. This is a fair bit larger than any of the other plants that we've looked at. It's quite bushy. It's got wide but fairly flat leaves. Beautiful deep green. And then these just beautiful little white flowers. This is called the peace lily. This is definitely preferred as an indoor plant. They can't tolerate direct sunlight, so needs filtered light, or so it's good in a bit of sun inside. It's a really great needs well draining soil so that it doesn't develop any root rot or anything like that. But you do want to kind of let the soil dry between watering. So you don't want to overwater. It's a very popular indoor plant. You see it a lot of times in workplaces. It's because it's very hardy. So hard to kill. It's a little bit of a theme, if you noticed. It's also very good at purifying the air. So just having this in here, in this room with us, you can just breathe in and you're still getting a bit more benefit. A bit more when the sun is out, since that's when it'll actually be doing photosynthesis and everything like that. But having the unnatural light, it'll do a bit as well. But you can see it's just a huge plant. It's a lovely size. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the flowers on already. And it's just got this deep green color. It's absolutely splendid. You can see the vein pattern on the leaves. It's just beautiful. Very classic. And it's just a very serenity-inducing plant. This one is, I believe, 35, which is very reasonable for a plant of this size. Now, obviously, throughout the warehouse, we have an abundance of plants and lots of other options. Some have a little bit more stringent care requirements, but I'm sure with a bit of research you'd be able to handle any of those. Yeah, so if you do want any of these, I'll hold these off to the side for the next 30 minutes, and then just have a look around, and whatever you want, then come back and let me know, okay? And we'll get those all rung up for you. Yeah, no, and I'll definitely, we can get you added to our mailing list so that you can get the updates for the next time we're in town for our next little plant sale, or rather large plant sale as the case may be. Oh, it's been my pleasure. I love talking plants, so thanks for indulging me as I chat to you about them. Okay, yeah, well, go have fun. If you have any questions about any of the plants, let me know. I am here to serve. But yeah, just check in